And welcome back. This is the third game of the Tesseract Qualifier series. We're now in the match between Infamous Legion and Victoria's Secrets. What a fantastic pun for that for Victoria's Secrets there. Join with me today will be autocorrect.
Hello, everybody. Autocorrect here.
Yep. So we've seen two Infamous teams go through to the semi-finals already in some very, quite quick games between their opposing teams. So first up, we had Infamous Spectre versus Mega Empire, and second up, we had Infamous Stigma versus Paradox Insomnia. So we saw Infamous Legion play yesterday, and they played a very interesting game. We saw their support Farm Swift not really playing the typical support build. He got the fountain, and then he'd go and get some Asura Blade or a Tyrant, some nice damage items there. So what did you remember about it? What do you remember about the teams? Autocorrect.
Well, I think the only reason why he went with that build was because they were just steamrolling the opponent and they didn't really need additional defense. I mean, if you don't need it, don't get it. A lot of what you should do when you are playing these tournaments is you need to just react to the opponent's builds and playstyles in real time. You don't need to be stuck with a build just because that's the build you always go with. And I think you're seeing Infamous show off a lot of their high-level gameplay. All three Infamous teams are now in this, going into the semifinals now, with Infamous Legion, the last one of the three teams. And, I don't think we're going to see, them cave under anytime soon. It should be a good match, though. Victoria's Secrets has shown that they're also capable of being at a high level, and I think it'll be a very good game to see.
Okay, so we've got everyone here ready, and let's just go. Okay, so Infamous Legion, they get the first ban so far, and it looks like they're going to be banning Blackfeather, slightly more unusual. We've not really seen any Blackfeather bans around, to be honest. And I do have a feeling it is because we have we have Woofs there, who does actually main Blackfeather, so that's probably why. And we also see a kind of a Fortress ban coming out there from Victoria's Secrets.
No surprise there. Cassandra with the Adagio. Interesting, Cassandra showed in a previous match, the power of that buff comp. We've seen it in VIPL, we've seen it in other tournaments, other VGL tournaments in other regions, but Asia seems to be really strong in that buff Adagio sort of role, and you're seeing how strong he is in that early game. A couple of games we shotcast this previously saw a lot of this Adagio being played.
Yeah, and I really like how they've been using Adagio, and I think we did see Cassandra playing Adagio last time, and he was really on point with the kind of the buffs and the heals, and I think he landed a really nice Verse of Judgment as well. So if you can get synergize really well with your laner, it works fantastically well, and it is very powerful in the early game.
You're seeing them pick up an Arden and a Vox and possibly a Ringo as well. I think one thing to note: do they have a direct stun? I'm not sure if they do. If they pick up this Catherine, they will have one, and that will be very nice because you can chain stun. You can focus really well because you can stun Achilles' heel shot with the slow, and then follow up with a Verse of Judgment, or just have Adagio kite them to death with his damage buff. So a very good combo for them.
A very nice combo, and it looks like they might actually be picking up. They're switching between that Cruel and the Koshka, and they're actually going to finish off on that Koshka. So it's very likely we could be seeing a Weapon Vox here. And I actually do personally prefer the Crystal Vox myself.
Well, I mean, they're both different aspects of your strategy. One is Crystal Vox is a late game, so you can really carry in the late game if you play an opponent that has an early game power spike, and you can last the late game. Vox can make a huge difference with that crystal on his ultimate, but a weapon Vox is going to do a lot better against a Bully and Ringo in the early game because you're going to have that power to push back. And we've seen Asia meta playing this weapon Vox with that Sorrow Blade, Tyrant's Monocle, and just doing massive amounts of crit damage. And so I wouldn't put him past him. This is a very strong comp for both sides.
Yes, and I think they're going to have to be really careful. Godlike and Woofs in the jungle are going to be really careful because Cassandra on that Adagio has a very, very powerful early game. With that, the kind of the Agent of Wrath, he can do a great deal of damage. And I think you kind of see a lot of people underestimating how much damage he can actually dish out at that stage.
And that's why you're seeing him pick up that Blazing Cell, or Swiss Shooter rather, because then he's just got that kiting ability with that extra attack speed.
Yeah, and they do actually have a very fast jungle clear, but Koshka does actually have the slightly faster one there. And it looks like if Koshka and Arden can get to the shot before Dazzle and Catherine can, they do have a chance of winning any early team fights at this point.
Yeah, and we'll
So it
see
looks
what
like
happens here. They are getting flared here, so they do know that they're in there. But, I'm not sure if they want to go in on this yet, because still level 1 with Koshka just hit level 2 now, so a little bit late there. Not quite a very good XP splitting, so wasn't able to actually jump in on that Catherine when they flared her.
and we're seeing the Agent of Wrath coming out onto Ringo already. It does last a few seconds. Look at that damage being dealt onto Wolf. So he uses his speed boost to actually get away there. And Anzu himself is also struggling a fair bit, having to use a potion there at that point, trying to stay in the game for a little bit longer. Koshka, however, having to go to the back. And we should expect Cassandra and Firmswift to be rotating to the backs.
Almost, Spaghetti almost taking out Anzo with a triple hit there with Achilles follow-up. Nice Vanguard from Godlike to get him out, but you're seeing just how strong the Ringo is here. Spaghetti doing a great job of pushing it. And you notice he's staying in that bush. He's going in and out of that lane bush too, because he knows that if he stays in that lane bush, he's going to have that vision. Godlike puts a scout trap in there. Ringo's not going to back off with no energy, and that's going to kind of go back to normal. Everything's going to go back to normal with Firmswift and Cassandra now stealing some farm.
Yep, and Wolfster jumps in, doing a lot of damage onto Cassandra there. Cassandra having to back off and using the Agent of Wrath himself. But Anzu has rotated down. It's a bit of a 3v2 situation. Ringo is too far away, and it does look like Firmswift is going to go down at this stage in time. And you can't really do much about it. So very nice gank. Well, not even gank. Very nice team fight there from Victoria's Secrets.
I think it's fair to call it a jungle gank there. I mean, you can see Anzu using his boots to be part of that fight. Really super fast rotation. They do steal some of the farm back, and good flare there. Firmswift now back in the fight. So I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, really surprised to see how quick Anzu rotated down and is part of that fight, and that's really great because that's what they're going to need to fight against these guys in the early game.
Over there in lane, we see Ringo going down to kind of a three-man gank there over in lane. So actually, Victoria's Secrets are doing very well here.
Yeah, it's not like he was overextending, was it? He was in front of his turret. So you're seeing just how well they're diving in and how well they're really now just together in this early game, and that's really nice to see because they are definitely giving these guys a run for the money right now. It's at 0-2.
I've got to say, Firmswift's support technique is unlike any other that I've seen. He's going for those travel boots straight away.
Yeah, and that's interesting too. I mean, I've been doing this with Ringo as well, and here you're seeing a jungle shot there. Nice Vanguard in, good focus fire. Cassandra being taken down early again. Firmswift also super low, can't do too much. And again, it's a three-man jungle bit because the minions are pushed to Ringo's side, and he's also being very, very slow, not trying to push out those minions, keeping them on his side because he doesn't want to get ganked again. And here comes Wolf in. He's going to get the kill. Does get the kill. Wolf goes down also as well to a turret helping out with that. But wow, very aggressive Koshka. Very thirsty, wants those kills.
I think I'd like to point out one thing. So even though it does look like Infamous aren't the ones that are winning in these team fights, however, Spaghetti is doing a fantastic job in the lane. He's got a creep score of 38 compared to Anzu's 19. So the reason that Victoria's Secrets have been able to pick up the kills so continuously in the jungle is that Anzu has been rotating down, but that is, to his own downfall. He is losing out on a lot of farm, and when it comes to the situation where it's a 1v1 between Anzua and Spaghetti, he is going to lose.
Yeah, and he went for the attack speed first and then boots, and so he spent his money on auxiliary items instead of that damage. And you're seeing Godlike just get absolutely taken out. Spaghetti one-minded, direction, just going for that kill, gets the kill, locks it down. Anzua, nothing he can do, and now Famous are the ones coming back with the three-man.
Yeah, very nice here. And it looks like they're going to be starting on that turret already. Very, very early turret aggression. And the Young Mechanic Frenzy comes out onto Spaghetti, who looks like he is going to go down despite the heal coming out from Cassandra. Woofs and Anzu are desperately trying to pick up the remaining 2 kills there onto Cassandra and Firmswift there.
Yeah, look at the damage done in on Woofs, but really good decision to do the Young Mechanic Frenzy in on Spaghetti when the turret has aggroed on him, because that's just going to make him go bye-bye, and he did. He went deleted, went out to Sleepy Land, and now he's back.
Yep, and he's actually been catching up on farm now. So, 33 to 47, still a little bit behind, but, there is potential there to catch up. He's got the heavy steel already. looking like he might be going for a breaking point first. I'm not sure. We'll have to see what the other items he'll be buying will be.
I mean, you can see Firm Swift's level 4, 2 levels below. You have to be a little bit careful. You can't be too aggressive now when you're so under-leveled, because then you become the quick kill, you become the target, and Firm Swift needs to get the levels now. He needs to stay with stay with Cassandra, and they need to just make sure they are farming now a little bit more, because the level is going to be a problem coming up here in the next couple minutes for Firm Swift.
Yep, and they're actually, it's very equal right now. The gold is almost negligible at this point in time. We're not really seeing many team fights breaking out right now. Both teams are playing a little bit more cautiously, but I am expecting Koshka to be invading a little bit more. We're seeing some really nice rotations down here with Anzua coming down to the jungle, giving his teammates that needed support.
Should be. I mean, they should leverage it. You're a whole level up. You've got vision there. The bottoms at least are up. Go and take them. Leverage all that aggression, that early, level, 3 levels ahead of Firm Swift. Get in there.
Yep, and Ringo gets stunned under turret there. Not quite enough to save him. And Woofs looks like he might be the one to go down there. Firm Swift having to back off there. And you know what? Another successful gank there by Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah, Woofs playing super aggressively, doing the Yummy Captain Frenzy under the turret, but not getting deleted out with that support from the Arden, which is why I think you're seeing Koshka dive in really strong here, because he knows he's got that good support from Godlike on that Arden.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to see Infamous Legion kind of pull together a little bit. This isn't the team that I saw yesterday. We want to see a little bit more kind of like synergy and coordination between them. Right now, we're just not seeing that at the moment.
Yeah, you're seeing Cassandra taking all the jungle farm. You're seeing Firm Swift hug the lane there for that Ringo. But I think, the problem here again is going to be the levels. So level 5 with level 8 on Koshka now. This is going to be a problem for them going into mid-game, I think.
Yeah, and if you look at Firm Swift, he's now got Journey boots now, which is very unusual, but he is very close to that Fountain of Renewal. He is like, okay.
Journey boots. Wow. That's really puzzling to me, because you can finish the fountain first, which is what your team needs. You're getting pushed, but Journey boots, I mean, I don't really see the benefit of that.
Yep, Spaghetti there with that Agent of Wrath. I think Victoria's Secrets are just doing what anyone should do if they see a buffed carry coming towards you. It's just to pull back out of their range until that buff wears off.
And you see Godlike already has his fountain now, so what they want to do, Victoria's Secrets wants to do now, is force fights and leverage the fountain, leverage the natural ability from Arden to save his teammates, and let Koshka go in there and just wreck.
Yep, and we're seeing Firm Swift there just in the lane. I think what the point of the Journey Boots is that he can pull off those stuns, and it does give a little bit of extra health. I'm not really sure. This is a very very different type of support that we've ever seen play. But he made it work yesterday, and I'm expecting he'd probably pull it off today as well.
The problem is that when you're facing a good Voxes, they're going to be able to actually, use the ace kill Sonic Zoom away from that, as long as they're not too pulled up too far. And look at the turret; it's going down really quick. But nice block there on that Yummy Captain Frenzy. Koshka not getting that stun. Going to go instead for Firm Swift. Gauntlet comes down, but it's in front of the turret. Here comes wait for it. Spaghetti super low. There comes the ultimate from Firm Swift, just trying to peel off the team, and they are going to now rotate down the jungle.
Yeah, very nice gank there on Spaghetti. I think Spaghetti is just a little bit too squishy. Maybe he needs a little bit more shield so he can actually kind of withstand the Koshka pressure for a little bit longer. We're seeing Wolf's trying to get some damage there onto Firm Swift there. And Godlike using his boots there to run past Firm Swift. I'm not quite sure what that was for.
Yeah, and Spaghetti did a nice reflex block on the Koshka. Really smart to do that then. But without that Arden there, he was just a clear target there for Koshka coming in. Not even an aftershock yet. Koshka is still building out defensive fountain and a reflex block. Not going to get an aftershock until very late in this game. So it would be interesting to see if that makes an effect, or if the level difference right now, 2 levels above Spaghetti, is what's going to carry them.
Yeah, and this is the first time, in the past few matches that we've seen today, the other Infamous teams, their games have been very, very short. They've been very aggressive from very early on. And this is the first time we're actually seeing one of the Infamous teams having to fight a little bit for that spot in the semi-finals.
Yeah, and you're seeing there's the Young Captain Friends blocked once again. Has to peel off. Spaghetti full health. Wolf is in trouble, has to get that Vanguard, get out, and now that attack now becomes a counterattack from Infamous, and they do that really, really well. That counter guy like drops, just gets absolutely melted from a nice crit from Spaghetti. They're going to go ahead and push this lane. They're going to drop this turret, I think. But here comes Caution. Can't wait for it. Comes in. Oh, does some damage, but not quite enough. Reversal Judgment. Nice stun there. Gets blocked, but not enough. And he goes down, and this is in trouble. Big trouble. Hellfire Brew comes out. They're going to get the ace. Nice ace. And turret. Wow, what a play. What a counter from Infamous there.
Yeah, and they're able to pull ahead in the gold. Now they're 3k ahead of in gold, and Spaghetti is trying to get as much damage on that turret before the carries come out. Right now, it's only Arden rushing towards him, so he could actually finish this in time. You know, I don't think Godlike offers that much of a threat for him, but he is going to be pulling back and going onto the gold mine to help out his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, we saw just how how powerful Infamous can be. Their counterattack game is one of the best in the region, and you saw it happening right there. They just, just that it all started from that reflex block from Koshka, and you're seeing the pros do this really well. Reflex blocking the Koshka, then doing a counter. Koshka caught out of position because when you get reflex blocked as a Koshka, you basically sit there. You don't get put back in position you started. You just get sat there, and that's what happened. Koshka got sat there. Spaghetti wasn't stunned, could put some hits on Koshka. Koshka out of position, had to run away, but then they took that opportunity to do a counter, knowing that Koshka was super low in health.
Yep, and they're going to be taking the minion mine now. And Ringo is caught in a bit of a sticky situation as all three members of Victoria's Secrets are adding a lot of pressure into the lane. Cassandra and Farm Swift are there to give them some nice, much needed backup. And we could be seeing a very exciting team fight coming along anytime soon. And Woofs jumps in, gets stunned by Farm Swift. The gauntlet lands, catching the element. Woofs is looking very, very low indeed. And the sound's coming out, catching all three members. And she's using her boots to catch up to them as fast as she can. But I don't think she's going to be able to land a stun on anyone anytime soon.
Yeah, they're gonna try to go in here and I think take on the turret, and that's trouble because Godlike is just super low. He's trying to distract them. Gets a nice Vanguard out in on Wolves, but here comes a Hellfire Brew. I think it's gonna hit Godlike, yeah, but does some damage to Wolves as well. And that's good. Nice job from Infamous.
Yeah, it was a very nice turnaround there for Infamous. Things were looking very rocky for them at the start. Looks like Victoria's Secrets are coming up in all the wins. They're pulling very successful ganks in the lane, but the tables have turned.
I think part of it comes down to Koshka, initiating a lot of these fights. That's a problem, but also no aftershock from Koshka. So decided to go really defensive. Doesn't have that power spike from the aftershock. Unable to crit down some of these heroes when she's initiating, but instead getting caught in a bad position herself. And I think that's kind of the problem that you're seeing. In the early game, the level difference made a huge difference in terms of the damage Koshka could do without that aftershock. But now as you're going into the mid to late game, now you're seeing that suffer as she's really falling off.
Yeah, Farmswift doing a really good job of just kind of pressuring the players on Victoria's Secrets. And if you notice the goal difference, it's drawn ahead to 7k. And look at the damage going on to Godlike as he falls very quickly thanks to buff Spaghetti there. And they're going to be going onto that turret trying to finish down as fast as they can. Woofs is jumping in, but he's just getting a lot of damage back in return. That turret is on all three members of Infamous, but they don't care.
The Versa Judgment doing 618 damage to Anzu, and this is gonna be GG. Look at the crits, 363. The crits are crazy from Spaghetti now with that Tyrant's Monocle and that Sorrow Blade. And there's nothing Godlike can do, nothing at all, and they're gonna get this game.
Yep, in a very quick 14-minute game.
We were just saying how this might go longer than the traditional, and it's almost exactly the same as the previous Infamous game, around 14 minutes.
Yes. I think what should have happened is that Victoria's Secret should have played a little bit more on their lead. They knew they were doing well. Maybe if they just played a little bit more confidence and just continued to invade and starve them out, they might have been able to pull that game out a little bit longer.
Yeah, we didn't see them using that level difference, their advantage, and they were, at one point there's almost three level differences, but they weren't invading. They were letting, Infamous get those back to, farms, which are where most of the gold and XP are front loaded. And so that is, problem for them. No aftershock for Koshka, a big issue there, because, that's where you're looking for that damage, that power spike to come in. And that's the whole role of Koshka, is to assassinate with that power spike. Didn't see that coming. And Cassandra just doing a really great job of buffing, that buff on Ringo at the end that just absolutely melted with that crit. He didn't even need breaking point, I think. I think had he just gone with another crit, item, he would have done even more damage. Didn't need the breaking point, I think. Anzo, the thing we're missing from him is the crit. And that's really where the weapon box comes into play, is when you got that Tyrant's Monocle with that Sorrow Blade.
Yep. So let's jump into the, the second game now. So I think we had saw a very promising start there to Victoria's Secrets, and I'm expecting some quite good things from them in the second game.
Yeah, it looks like a roster change too.
Yep, we're substituting the Troller King in for Godlike. So let's jump into the draft and see what's going to be happening now in this game. So Koshka started off as a big issue there for Infamous Legion, but it didn't really matter too much once it got to the mid-late game. They were able to Koshka didn't matter to them. Like it was all about focusing on objectives. They were very objective focused.
Yeah, the other thing I want to mention about these Infamous teams is because they've got such, they're huge. First of all, they're 50 some members, and they do a lot of internal games. And, with that comes a degree of flexibility. So you're seeing them ban out the Adagio, and that's more of a reactive ban based on the last game. But, the advantage that a lot of these Infamous teams that I see have is they're very flexible. They can do different comps. They can work around bans, and that shows, the level of team play that they're doing and working with their coaches to get that done. Because, we've seen a lot of times in this tournament, drafts being super important and can make or break some of these games. And, it doesn't seem to be affecting Infamous too much.
No, not at all. And they're, Victoria's Secret is very fast with that Arden pickup there. Really wanting that Arden. So it looks like we're going to be seeing Firm Swift on that Catherine again. And I actually preferred their Arden play. I felt like they were, they really took advantage of that kind of very high powerful Ardeness.
Yeah, and he did good. They did a good job of getting that Vanguard on time and saved a couple of his teammates. So I mean that's where Arden is really great when you combine Arden with an assassin character, because sometimes assassins get too thirsty, they get too aggressive, they overextend, and you need to have somebody kind of pull them back and still keep them alive. So that's where Arden becomes really valuable. But if you're a team that's really well coordinated, like Infamous is, like Victoria's Secret, like some of these other top teams, then you don't need that so much. You can be more aggressive, depending on your play style. And that's where Catherine can come into play. That's where you saw the Adagio doing a lot of work. So it's really nice to see, just not Arden being picked all the time. But, it does come in handy once in a while.
Yep, and I remember yesterday Spaghetti was terrifying on that Sky, and looks like he's got that Sky again. So
yeah, and they're just letting him have his meat and potatoes. I mean, Sky, for those of you guys who play on the CA server, Sky is one of the most used characters, and this is why they ban it a lot. Is because you've got a lot of team strategies built around that Sky, and you're letting Spaghetti build out that Sky. You're letting them have a primary laner with that Ringo, who's also always been very strong. This is going to be a tough match for Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, I'm actually slightly confused by that Scarf and the Vox. So I think Scarf is actually better in the jungle, but against the Sky, he could really struggle. And it's the same with Vox as well. Quite a very weak early game. And I really don't know what they're planning on doing, where the Scarf and this Vox is going to go. Because if Vox is on the lane, he's going to be struggling against that Ringo.
I mean, Scarf too. I mean, once you can, it's so easy to dodge the Spitfires from Scarf and then just kind of bully them out, because as soon as you dodge a Spitfire, you can go in on him with a Twirling Silver and Achilles heel shot and just absolutely destroy Scarfs. And the same can be said for Vox. If he doesn't have that resonance on you, you can bully him out. So I'm very confused, the same as you with this pick. This seems a very weak comp to me, considering how powerful Spaghetti is on that Sky. Can take any of these guys. They have no burst-based character, which is what you really need to counter against this guy, Koshka or somebody else, Ataka in some cases. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to go, considering how aggressive, Infamous has been. You can definitely count on them pushing into that early jungle invasion with Spaghetti.
Yep, and it looks like Woofs is going to be going into the jungle. So I think Scarf, if he can land his Spitfires on the Sky and the Troller King body blocks from him, it could actually go very well for him. But it's going to be very, very difficult time for them.
Yeah, and he's going to want to pick up a little bit more, even more attack speed, just to make sure he maintains even faster auto attacks. Maybe another Swiss shooter if he goes in the shop and can. But also remember now, Scarfs do sap up a lot of energy, so you can't always be using that battery. And here they're caught in a 3v2. Flare does come out. Lucky for them. Rotation Manza, Swift taking a lot of that hits there. Resonance is out. Cassandra pulling out, trying to get some shots on Woofs there.
Yep, and from and Troller King just kind of running away. So all three members of Victoria's Secrets are kind of just completely split. They're all running in completely different directions. We are seeing the stun landing onto Woofs, and Spaghetti's trying to just his best to get the forward barrage landing on him, dealing a lot of damage. But that goop actually is able to stop him from finishing off the kill there. And it's a bit of a 3v2 situation as Anzua is now down here, and I'm not sure how Spaghetti is going to be coping. He is actually able to pick up the kill onto the Troller King, but FermSwift taking a lot of damage as he stands in that goop puddle.
Yeah, and you're seeing the power of that Sky being able to just sort of keep those guys off of him, even though it's a 3v2 situation. Ringo happy to just continue to farm and get ahead in that farm.
Yep, and Ringo just kind of running down, running rampant, trying to finish off kills. I think Vox is going to have a really tough time. We can see that already. It's a 5 creep score to 12 creep score if you compare Vox to the Ringo. And the thing is, with Vox against Ringo, you kind of see a lot of Vox picking up light armor first. It kind of reduces the impact of the poke coming out from Ringo as well.
Yeah, you see the light armor being picked up. Sometimes you see Book of Eulogies being picked up. But here comes a potential... Not sure what this is. As FermSwift just kind of backs off and gets killed really quickly.
Yeah, that gives one kill there over to the Victoria's Secrets. So that's quite a nice pickup. I think the problem with FermSwift is sometimes he's a little bit too over aggressive, leaving him quite open to, well, free kill there for the enemy team.
Yeah, you don't see any vision right now either. And here comes Wolves. Well, they're being really aggressive. Definitely got to give it up to them for trying to invade against a Sky. And you can see Troller King just getting absolutely destroyed here. But here comes reinforcements.
Yes, and Spaghetti trying to 1v3 was probably my favourite moment. Actually winning that was probably the most surprising part. But Anzua taking a lot of damage from that forward barrage as she runs up a straight line through the forward barrage. And Anzua is going to go down, leaving Woofs the only one left alive.
Yeah, and Spaghetti is, the Spaghetti plays very, very aggressive and, does a lot of things that we think would cost him, but he gets away with it because he's really comfortable with the mobility of the Spaghetti. He's really comfortable with how Sky moves. And you saw right there, half health, but still enough to steal all of the farm right under the nose of the Victoria's Secret. So very impressive.
And I think we actually have some connection issues from Woofs there. He's actually, I've noticed him lagging out a few times. He's just, I think some connection issues. I'm not sure if you're seeing this as well.
Yeah, he was standing still in the lane. I'm not sure what's going on with him.
Yes, so very strong showing so far from Infamous, and I think Victoria's Secrets, they could pull this back if they're just gonna play very defensively, play safe, don't make any. That is very difficult, but don't try and reduce the number of minimize mistakes or kind of out of positions, and if they just defend that first heart, they do have a chance.
Well, I mean, I guess you're more optimistic than me. I see Spaghetti with 3 levels ahead of everybody except for Anzu. He just hit level 4. I see him going in the jungle, stealing the gold, and just by nature of how strong he is on this and the connection issues, I'm not quite as convinced as you are, but maybe I'm a bit more of a pessimist in that sense.
Oh well. We just saw Woofs teleporting back home, and currently it's 7-43. So Woofs down there with a creep score of 7 and Spaghetti with 43. That is a massive discrepancy that we are seeing here. I'm not sure if Woofs is going to be the pick up. He does seem to have some connection issues. Hopefully they are going to be fine now. And, hopefully we'll see a bit of an exciting game because he's level 3 compared to Spaghetti's level 7.
Yeah, and that makes a major difference. And they've lost so much jungle. And, I've even seen some teams in the past in this situation pick up a contract and go sit in lane a little bit. That's, desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess. But, wow, Spaghetti's had a complete easy time of it. And he's even jungling alone, which means he's getting even more XP.
Well, Troller King stepped out of place there and gives a kill over. And I think this could be their Infamous's chance to finish off that turret. The Spitfire actually just missing Cassandra there. And that first turret going down. And Zul taking a lot of damage there from Cassandra. But the Goop actually managed to save Anzua for a little bit longer. However, that Sonic Zoom wasn't quite enough to get him out of range.
And you're seeing a really good formation, too, there. Catherine always fronting, being in front and ready to get that stun out with Cassandra right on the heels, being protected from the body block from Catherine. And there you see, once again, that formation coming in really nice. Cassandra just sliding in right behind FermSwift. Now Spaghetti, of course, coming in and wrecking stuff up, as he likes to do. And they're going to back away now, but, it's looking dire right now for them.
Yep, and we're seeing a lot of pressure being added by Infamous Legion onto that second turret, and I don't really know how much they can do to defend against this. Troller King and Anzua just taking a lot of damage there from Cassandra, And Troller King is going to be the first to go down in this skirmish.
Yeah, also, keep in mind, too, Scarf really doesn't do much until he gets that overdrive on that Spitfire. So every time he misses a Spitfire, he's putting himself in danger. And you're seeing Cassandra just punish him for it. Every time he misses that Spitfire, Cassandra just comes in and just does double damage to him. There goes the death from above. I think it's just separating out Anzua, but a Vanguard comes in. Spaghetti's in for the kill, grabs the kill, walks away with it. Firm Swift, it's also super trouble, but goes down in the end. And now everybody's backing off. Cassandra's going to try to steal this farm here.
I don't know. He is looking very, very low, and that's fortunately for him. That Spitfire does miss him. However, Troller King could actually maybe 1v1 him. No
Stormguard banner, unfortunately. Otherwise, he might actually gotten that kill.
But now that Ringo's got that healing minion as well, there's definitely no chance of him going down to Argent anytime soon. Look at him picking up that Solar Blade. Good power spike there for Ringo.
Huge power spike, and you're looking. So before the levels are still the same now for Spaghetti, level 9 already in the 7th minute of the game, a level 9. That is really crazy. And they're going to go ahead and get this gold mine.
Yep, they're going to get that gold mine as well. And if you look at Scarf, he's only got 22 farm right now compared to Spaghetti's 62. He's still really stubborn. He's actually improved his farm a little bit. And it does appear that his connection issues have improved a lot. So hopefully this game will be going a lot better for him.
Yeah, and in this case, Firm Swift with the journey boot seems to be paying off as he's been able to lock down a lot of guys on the other team. Anzua and Wolves. The formation's a bit shoddy, overextending. Getting in front of Troller King. That's allowing Firm Swift to come in with that stun. Cassandra right behind, giving a tight formation. You're seeing Spaghetti putting down some hits, but he's got to be careful there because now that he's gotten that burn on him, he's got to be a little bit careful.
Yep, and that's hard. Does go down from Swifting a little bit of damage, but Sans comes out. Not really sure what he was trying to achieve though with that silence.
Sure, either. That was an interesting ultimate hit there, but whoa! Anzua just getting absolutely melted. You see that Troller King also in trouble. Stun comes in on Wolf, but Spaghetti taking too much turret aggro, and he's got to back off.
Yep, and look at how low Spaghetti is, trying to use his forward barrage through the wall, but just missing. Cassandra's taking a little bit of damage there. Actually, getting hit by that Spitfire is not looking too good for him. However, the turret hasn't actually aggroed onto them yet, so they look like they're going to be all right for now. Yeah,
those little imaginary holes in the middle of a solid brick wall that allowing you to shoot through it and hit somebody. A little bit of a Counter-Strike walling. For those of you guys who play Counter-Strike there, they're not going to go for that minion mine because it does a lot of damage. And Wolf's is really hungry. He wants to get it. I don't know, did he manage to gank that healing minion or not?
I am actually not too sure myself. Because I actually can't tell. Because both Ringo and Catherine have that healing kind of aura around them. But things aren't looking too great right now for Victoria's Secrets. They are definitely the ones that are kind of having to play very defensively. They're 8k now behind in gold, and they have lost 2 of their turrets so far in the first 9 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and I'm not understanding Anzua's build here either. He's got very little defense, but he went for a breaking point, which in the 1.4 patch isn't going to do too much. Cassandra getting nicely focused there, actually, and Wolf's and Anzua free, but here comes Spaghetti in. He's going to get the kill on Wolf. That's going to force Anzua to back off, but Spaghetti just rotating up a little bit slow there, and that's going to cost him Cassandra. Yep,
and this does leave that tower open. Anzua trying to defend it, and Swift is going in, taking a bit of damage there from the tower. But however, the Troller King is now out, so I don't think they're going to get this tower anytime soon. Firm Swift, I'm not quite sure what he is doing, just kind of walking in and out, being hit a few times.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got to be a little bit careful because he's got
look at that damage coming out from Spaghetti. He's got 6 stacks on his Broken Myth walking through. We saw that insane amount of damage that was coming out from him.
Yeah, my game froze for a second there, so I didn't see the stacks building, but now he had 7 stacks the last time I saw it, and wow, that is where Broken Myth comes in. Now remember, the stacks give you 6% a crystal amplification, so he's got that Frostburn already, so if he's got that additional 100 CP power, and then you get an additional 36%, 35% amplification. It's 5% stacks of 7 actually is what it is. Then that's a lot, 35% off your additional crystal.
Yep, and it looks like Firm Swift is actually trying to solo the gold mine and actually able to manage it so far. He's not taking that much health. He has a storm guard, and he does manage to solo the gold mine. So that's a nice 230 gold payout there, going towards Infamous Legion.
how nice when you don't even have to be there to take the gold mine. Your tank can do it for you. That's the luxury life right there.
If that is luxury life. Cassandra, in terms of are at risk of being caught out there, those minions are being cleared very fast by the Ringo and the Scar. So it looks like they're not going to be able to take down that turret again. The Gauntlet comes down, trapping the Firm Swift and Cassandra. He is able to use his reflex block to get out there. Firm Swift taking a lot of damage, but Spaghetti is here and they are going to be forced to back away. But look at the damage coming out from Spaghetti. Oh, he's absolutely getting melted here. Woofs as well. Firm Swift taking a lot of damage there. He might be the one to go down, especially with the turret damage onto him. But it looks like Chola King and the Woofs are able to make it out. But Cassandra's stuck in a bit of a sticky situation here.
I mean, what you saw there actually was 335 initial crit damage from Cassandra, and then a follow-up from Spaghetti, and it was just too much to handle. His positioning was off. He was caught out there, allowed Cassandra to poke him down with that initial shot, and then stuck around enough to let Spaghetti come in and clear him out, and that's not what you want to do. You got to stay behind your tank. You got to stay behind him.
Yep, and now that turret is gone. We are now 12 minutes, and there is a 12k gold difference. This is absolutely immense. Immense here for Infamous Legion.
Yeah, and apart from the previous guy, we saw Spaghetti actually going back and front loading more CP power. This is great because, again, as I said earlier, change your builds according to how the enemy reacts. And right now, they're so strong in the pushes that it's okay for Spaghetti to go a little bit light on defense here because of the mobility of Sky and just really try to output as much damage as possible. And here you go, you see Scarf once again out of position. That stun coming in from Firm Swift once again. So as I was just mentioning, the formations of these guys need to be improved. You're seeing Wolf getting stuck out there, easy stun from Firm Swift. Unfortunately, Cassandra wasn't near enough to follow up with too much damage, but that is what we're seeing in this game. And there he is. There's Anzua now overextending right in front of Cassandra.
Yep, so very dominant game so far here for Infamous Legion. They have been proving, I think they've proven their worth so far. They've been just absolutely dominating in the jungle, in the lane. They've been picking up kills and turrets at an insane rate.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you give Spaghetti one of his mains.
Yes, we saw this thing happen yesterday when we saw Spaghetti on the Sky. He was just so comfortable in it. He was just flying across the map, doing a lot of damage, and I think he is just the one to watch out of this team.
Yeah, being fortunate to actually have played with Spaghetti quite a bit myself, he just is really reliable as a teammate because what he does is he's going to pick up damage, he's going to pick up the kills, so you don't have to worry about what he's doing because Spaghetti will get it. He'll get it done. And that type of reliability of your teammates is exactly what you want at this high level.
Yep, and we're just seeing the whole team, the whole Victoria's Secret team, just kind of scared to kind of leave that kind of junction. They're just kind of staying very high from in the base. This does leave the Kraken open when it comes out in a minute. Spaghetti just going in on his own, setting off those scout traps, taking a little bit of damage for it. And we see him flying over, trying to hit the top Troller King already. And that goop is a bit pointless, to be honest. He's not managed to set on fire with Spitfire. It's actually not doing too much.
He doesn't have any defense, which is really, really going to hurt when Cassandra gets one shot on him like that. 316 damage, just one shot, because of the crit and the Sorrow Blade. And, you got to run defense in this game. You can't be going without defense.
Yeah, and I actually what I think should be. Oh my gosh, look at the damage coming out from Cassandra. But I think what we should be seeing from Infamous is they should be backing off at this point. They're fighting right inside their base. Very nice stun there from Firm Swift, stopping Troller King from using his his gauntlet.
Catherine, look at the stun on the steps. Until it goes down. Look at that.
Yes, Wolf's now the only one left alive, and I think we're going to be seeing this final push coming out from Infamous, but they're actually taking a lot of damage there from the turrets. Cassandra trying to pick up the kill there onto Wolves, but they're just being hit a lot by
Dragon Breath.
By the Spitfires.
Oh, that would have been a perfect time to do a Dragon Breath on all three of them, and just would have gotten an amazing MLG triple kill, I think. But we didn't see it.
He's probably thought it was a bit risky. Would probably been very worried about handing him the ace, especially with the captain on the team and the fact that he doesn't have a reflex block as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's, I guess, I'm just so confused. You're running Scarf without a reflex block. You're handicapping yourself. You're literally not doing anything to help yourself in this game if you're not running a reflex block.
Yeah, especially because he has the potential to block any stuns when using his Dragon's Breath. So that wasn't a feature when Scarf was initially introduced as a hero.
I remember. Yeah.
But now that he does, it's very good that he can do that. Look at the damage coming up from Sanja, and it looks like they are going to be starting the Kraken now. The Kraken is going down at a very fast rate. They are going to be going for that final push. We're seeing no contest coming out from Victoria's Secrets at this moment.
Yeah, and he's got that tornado trigger too. So I mean, it's just, I mean, he is going to just absolutely destroy Scarf. Unfortunately, or fortunately for them, they have Firm Swift with that direct stun. If he can get locked down Sky, that follow up damage is going to be immense.
Yep. And Whiff's going out really, really fast. They're focusing on him first. Anzo using the wait for it, but does not do much at all. Spaghetti taking a lot of damage there from the tower, and thanks to that Fountain, is actually going to be staying alive for a little bit longer. And we've seen the stun coming out, and they're going to be able to pick up the second kill there. So it does look like the second game is going to be going towards Infamous.
Yeah, this is GG. This is GG.
So, all three members of Infamous will be going forward to the semi-finals now.
And just another thing to add is Firm Swift. Just his stuns are just on point, and he's got the aftershock now. So every time he stuns, he's doing that massive damage to them, and that's what you saw there. Is Firm Swift just really out front, stunning, preventing them from going in on his teammates. Really great job from Catherine. One of the better Catherines I've seen this tournament so far, actually.
Yep, so Infamous Legion, Infamous Spectre, and Infamous Stigma will all be heading into the semi-finals that will be broadcast on next weekend on Saturday.
Yeah, great. I mean, there's not much you can say about this. Just dominant play from them. A couple confusing issues. Victoria's Secret, not as strong as before, where just some confusing builds, no defense, being stuck out of position, and it comes right back down to the team comp. We said from the very, very get-go of this game, what are they doing with a Scarf in a box against a Ringo and a Sky? It doesn't make any sense to me, and I think that from the very beginning put them on the wrong foot of this game.
Yep, that was very confusing for them, but well done to Infamous Legion, and well done to Victoria's Secrets for making it to the quarterfinals. So thank you all for joining us. Next match will be shoutcasted by me and Denier, and it will be between Hunter's Ace and Revival Esports. So this is the number 1 seed versus the number 3 seed.